All right, folks, here we are on our last page of our notes over order of operations. So again, we're going to make sure we pay attention to PEMDAS. And as I look at this problem, I see that I do have some parentheses, so I need to take care of those first. So I'm going to take care of 8 1/10 minus 2 32 hundredths. Oops, lining up the decimal points there. This is a subtraction problem. Fill in with a 0 for the empty spaces. We can't take 2 away from 0, so we're going to regroup here. 2 from 10 gives me 8. Can't take 3 away from 0. Regroup again. 3 from 10 gives me 7. Bring that decimal point straight down. And then 7 minus 2 is 5. So my answer to this part of the problem is 5 78 hundredths. So we've taken care of this, and we've taken care of this. Now we're left with our divide by 2. So we're going to bring that down, and we'll divide by 2 now. So we'll take our answer, 5 78 hundredths, and we'll divide that by 2. So 2 divides into 5 twice, which is 4. Subtract, and we get 17. Bring that decimal point up where it belongs. 2 divides into 17 8 times, which is 16. Subtract, and we get 1. Bring our 8 down. We have 18, and 2 divides into 18 9 times. And so our answer to this part of the problem is 2 89 hundredths. So we've taken care of all of the numbers that we need to take care of from our problem. So our final answer is 2 89 hundredths. All right, let's look at the next one. We've got 16 divided by 4/10 times 1 67 hundredths. So we look for parentheses, nope. Exponents, nope. Multiply or divide in order from left to right, yes. Here's a division problem that comes first. Then we would do the multiplication problem. Again, remember, it doesn't matter that we say multiply first. Both of these are equal. We just do whichever one comes first in the problem. So our first order of operations here is going to be 16 divided by 4/10. Take 16 and we're dividing by 4/10. So we've got a decimal on the outside, so we swoop it over, and because we swooped that over here, we're going to have to swoop one inside the house too in the dividend. So I don't have a decimal on 16, so I'm going to add it at the end of the number, and we swoop over, fill in that empty space with a 0, bring that decimal point up after the 0. So now our problem really becomes 160 divided by 4. Sometimes it's easier just to rewrite the problem so it's not quite so confusing. All right, so 4 divides into 16 4 times. That's 0. Bring down a 0. 4 divides into 0 0 times, and so we're done. So the answer to 16 divided by 4/10 is 40. So we've taken care of the 16, we've taken care of the divided by and the 4/10, and now we're left with times 1 67 hundredths. And so we need to figure that out. All right, when I'm multiplying, I like to put my longer number on the top, and I'm going to multiply by 40. Now I know when I multiply by 40, I'm really just multiplying by 4, and then I have to add a 0 at the end of it. So 4 times 7 is 28. Put down my 8, carry my 2. 4 times 6 is 24, and 2 more is 26. Carry my 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. And then that's what 4 times 1.67 is, but 40 would just add a 0 on the end. Okay? And if that's confusing to you, you can go ahead and do the multiplication with the 0 if you want to. Alrighty, so I'm going to place my decimal point now. 1, 2 spaces behind the decimal point in the problem. So 1, 2 spaces behind the decimal point in the answer. And so my answer to 40 times 1 67 hundredths is 66 8/10. So I've taken care of all of my numbers now, and so then my final answer is 66 8/10. All right, last one. Okay, do we have parentheses? We sure do, and there's even parentheses inside the parentheses, so we have to do those first. So our first problem is to do 5 4/10 minus 3 2/10. 5 4/10 minus 3 2/10. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring the decimal point straight down, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So the answer to that part of the problem is 2 2/10. Took care of that. And now we've got to take the next part of the problem, the plus 6, and bring that down. So we're going to do plus 6 here. So we've got 2 2/10 plus 6. I'm going to add a 6 onto here. That's not right, is it? We want to line up those decimal points, right? So that does not work. All right, 2 2/10. Remember 6, the decimal point's after the number. Okay, and then we're adding. 2 plus 0 is 2. Bring the decimal point straight down. 6 plus 2 is 8. So this answer should be 8 2/10. Again, guys, think money. If you think money with decimals, it makes it so much easier. This is like $6 plus $2.20. And probably you could do that in your head if you thought about it being money, be $8.20. All right, so we took care of that, and now we're left with the times 7.5. So we've done this already. Got to bring this times 7.5 down here. So we are going to multiply 7.5 times 8.2. So 7 5/10 times 8 2/10. I don't care about those decimals right now. I'm treating this like it's 75 times 82. 2 times 5 is 10. Put down the 0, carry my 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Moving over a digit, so added 0 down here before I start my multiplication. 8 times 5 is 40, put down a 0, carry my 4. 8 times 7 is 56, and 4 more is 60. Add 0, 5, 1, 6. Now I want to place my decimals. 1, 2. So 1, 2. Right there. And remember, we can drop off these end zeros on decimal numbers. So this is 61 5/10. All right, those are your notes on 2H, order of operations and exponents. And we will be practicing with these in class when I see you. Don't forget to put these in your journal, guys. All notes always go in your journal.